Hello and welcome on another magical afternoon here in the African bush, one of the only places where you can sit this close to a leopard cub and enjoy their company. This is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live. And as I said, a very warm welcome on this sunset safari in this magical place called Djuma Private Game Reserve here in the Sabi Sand in the Greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. And that is where we are coming to you live from every day, twice a day. My name is Jamie, and this afternoon I have Dave on camera with me, but we don't want to distract you from this little leopard cub at all, because I think it's about to pounce on its sibling. Look at that little tail. Already the instinctive twitch that it has inherited from its mother, Queen Karula. What have you spotted, little one? And it has been a while since we've got to sit and experience these magical little cubs. The kill that they had is out of the tree and vanished. I think they must have finished it all off. Well, between 2 growing leopards and 1 hungry female, a little daycare kill does not a meal make. And don't forget, because we are live, it means that we can also be interactive, which means please send through your questions or your comments on #Safari, or you can email through to questions@WildEarthTV. The other day we were discussing what is our favorite thing about a leopard, and I said their self-possessed nature. Dave said the white tip of their tail, and there were many really lovely answers coming through from all of you. And I'm so glad that we could spend the afternoon starting off in this way. Now, for those of you who missed the sunrise safari, well, it was quite an extraordinary one, all kinds of exciting things. Tell you what, now that we have settled in for the afternoon, let's go forward a little bit. I can see another pile of spots in front of me, lying in the drainage line. You see that over there, Dave? Oh, by the way, I did introduce myself. My name is Jamie. I'm sorry. It's all been very confusing and much hurried, and we only got here with about 5 seconds to spare, but we managed it. And there's another leopard over there. Quite exhausted. And I see no sign. The only thing that's left, can you believe it, of that kill? Let's just have a look down here at the base of the tree before I reposition. Oh, no, sorry, changed my mind, because our little leopard cub, I think, is on the move. And she sat down just to prove me wrong. What's she looking at? Oh, Karula's head is up. She woke up with a little bit of a start. What's wrong, girl? Something scared her. Something scared her. The cubs are slinking away. What scared her? I'm not repositioning just now. The cub immediately knows to run. What is going on? What has she seen? Try and keep an eye on that cub as well. I can't see where she's gone. What on earth was that all about? Are the lions coming? I doubt it. There's something running there. I just saw something run along. I just saw something run through the trees. Let's go forward a little bit. We can reposition now because the threat's not coming from this side. I can hear elephants, but they sound a little bit too far away for it to have been what scared Karula, and she was definitely looking back there, and I just saw something run past. I don't know what it was. I have no idea. Surely not wild dogs again in a sighting like this. That would be extraordinary. Oh. There's a leopard hiding there. Under the trees there. She's so hidden. She sent her cubs dashing away. I don't understand what that was about. Can you see her there, Dave? No. Let me go a bit further forward. You got it? I have no idea what that was about. I'm not even sure that it wasn't an antelope, you know. The movement that I saw. Oh, alarm calls. Baboon alarm calls. It's baboons. It's baboons. There's a big male baboon. Go, Karula, off you go, and take your cubs. Baboons and leopards have an enmity as old as time. A big male baboon at close to half of Karula's weight. A couple of them combined was most definitely a threat. And there was a big male chasing another one away. You can hear him. It's not an alarm call, it's an aggressive call. He's been chasing one of the younger members away. That's incredible, a sense of hearing that these leopards have. Absolutely astounding. She knew they were there long before we did. And unlike wild dogs and hyenas, baboons can climb trees. Now, it's unusual for a baboon to try and take on a leopard when she's got cubs with her, but cubs on their own are seriously threatened by baboons, and there are lots of stories of leopard cubs being caught up and held by baboons and occasionally killed. A lot of the time they're killed. Every now and again they survive the ordeal. He's moving away. Phew! Not wild dogs this time, but baboons. See, it's all go on Safari Live. Oh, that was unexpected. Unbelievably unexpected. Of course, now our leopards have vanished, and their killer's gone, so they have absolutely no reason to stay here. I don't think she'll go too far, though. I hope she won't go too far. I'm just going to wait for the baboon calls to be a little bit further before I reposition, just to make sure they're not going to come running past here. Huh. Amazing. Alright, we're going to sit here for a little moment and just listen quietly. In the meantime, I know that Tayla is dying to say hello to you, so let's head across to her.
Hello everybody, and welcome to a wonderful afternoon sunset safari. My name is Tayla, and on camera this afternoon we've got Zander, aka Eggsy, as everybody seems to call him these days. And guess what? We've relocated on the Kahuma Pride. Have a quick look at them. Now, unfortunately, they're doing my least favorite thing. They are sleeping. But I'm so happy to see that a few of them have actually started grooming themselves. When we first arrived here, you couldn't tell the difference between the ground and which part was lion. They were so flat. So I'm happy to see some lion yoga going on, demonstrated on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. How great is that? Look how flexible she is. And she is... It's really good to see them grooming themselves. So why I think they could possibly wake up, or especially this female here that's grooming herself, is that what do you do before you go to work in the morning? Don't you normally have a shower or a bath? You get clean. And that's typically what the lions will do as well, is they'll groom themselves nicely like that. As you can see there, she's getting in between her toes now. Oh, didn't like something there. Maybe she picked up a tick. There we go, getting in between every little crevice. You saw her with her leg up earlier as well, making sure she can get rid of as many parasites as possible. Lions are very clean creatures, and they do spend quite a bit of their day grooming. Now on that tongue of theirs, there are almost barb-like, you can actually see, can you see that when she licks like that? All those little white things on her tongue? Oh, we have a crested Francolin, 2 crested Francolins that have decided to join the party. Sorry everybody, I'll get back to my comment about their tongues. They're disappearing down. I think they got a bit of a fright. Off they go. I can't see them now. It's quite thick where they've run through, but they came darting across past the lions. So on their tongues, they've almost got these barb-like structures which will help groom them, their coats. So it's almost like sandpaper. If you've ever felt sandpaper, how rough it is, bless you. And it's very, very important that the lions are able to clean themselves nicely, especially imagine for a big male lion and his mane. Just an average tongue wouldn't be able to brush the top of his mane very nicely, so he needs a little bit of extra help too. But I don't think the boys clean themselves as often as the girls. Yes, clean your toes. So remember everybody, we are actually live at the moment. We are in the middle of the African wilderness. And if you'd like to interact with us, you are welcome to contact us either via Twitter. You can hashtag Safari Live, or you can email us and you can send in your questions to questions@WildEarthTV. Here we go. We've got the little, looks like a little boy, learning from mom, one of the other females in the pride, grooming themselves. It's nice to see as they start to grow up how they don't have to constantly rely on mom to clean them. And look at that one at the back that's laying on its back. Hey, little lion cub, it's not Sunday just yet. It's only Saturday. Don't get too comfortable. That is hysterical. I love it when they lay on their backs like that. And our 2 little teddy bears are waking up. You can see them. Yes, little fluff balls. And they keep looking over at the male Birmingham. Actually, let's have a look at the male Birmingham. So Eggsy made a very funny remark earlier, and I'm going to repeat it. Do you notice the canning resemblance between this Birmingham male and that cub that we saw earlier who was laying on his back? Eggsy says that they are definitely related, and this one is taking, what's that, one's taking after the father. Well, we're not sure which Birmingham fathered all of these cubs. I'm sure all of them had a good go with the females. But look at them. Yes, lovely ladies and little cubs, groom yourselves, wake up nicely. We would like to see some action this afternoon. And it's cooled down quite nicely as well. It's not as hot as what it was earlier. The wind seems to be dying a little bit, though I'm nervous to say that. So touch wood, touch my head. And hopefully they'll get up for us and maybe try and catch something a little bit earlier rather than later. So if you didn't watch the show this morning, I was so fortunate enough to see the youngest female lioness in the pride. She actually chased a giraffe for a little bit, which was quite exciting to see. And hopefully the rest of the pride manages to find that giraffe again, because wouldn't that be amazing to see a giraffe hunt? Or they can catch a buffalo, because there are lots of buffalo around at the moment. That would be fine too. Didn't like that thorn that she put her foot down on. It's got a very nice spot over here. They're completely sheltered from all of the wind. What are you doing? You're biting the branch. Yes, why are you biting the branch? Right, now get up and go and wake the rest of the gang up, please. Or you can go and have a drink of water. Either way, one of those would be great. I like to put my requests into the animals as well. Good afternoon, Raccoon. Raccoon, let me spell the Nkahumas for you. Now I need to just very quickly, I want to make sure I give you the correct spelling, so I want to type it out nicely on my, and then I will tell you. So Nkuhuma, Nkuhuma. So it's quite easy, some of these African names, because as you say them is how you spell them. Listen to the crested francolins. Can you hear that? They're shouting. They're not too far from these lions. So they're hanging around these lions. Unfortunately, there is no maggots for them to eat on any carcass today. We've been noticing that the francolins have definitely been hanging around the lions, especially when they do have a kill, because it means an easy pick snacks. And when I say that, I mean the maggots that often sort of, once the flies have laid their eggs on the buffalo, once the larvae will hatch, a good source of protein. Come on, guys, grooming now. I'm feeling impatient because I was so spoiled this morning. Eggsy and I were absolutely expectations. This pride is fast becoming my favorite pride of lions. So now come on, you've got to keep up all the hard work. Oh, no, don't go back to sleep. You can go bite your sibling. Or you can groom your sibling, do something. The sun is starting to creep through onto the pride now. The shade that they've been laying in for most of the day is slowly starting to disappear. You can see those lovely rays of light coming through. So hopefully it bakes down on them, and then they decide to get up and move around a little bit. But they did quite a bit of moving this morning, so I also don't blame them for needing a little rest. Their afternoon siesta is very important. I know the ladies in FC are nodding. So the whole pride is actually here. It's just very difficult to see two of the other adult females, and there's also one cub with them. We can have a little glimpse, but it's not the greatest view, unfortunately. We've got a few trees, and there you can see the big Birmingham. Now you can see the two other female lionesses that make up the 5, and one of the older cubs. Here we go, our lazy lion at the back, who was showing us the belly downward facing lion. I don't know if you can call it that. Now you're also going to groom yourself. Only thing though with the cubs, I'm nervous when the cubs start to groom themselves, because that doesn't always mean they're going to get up. I'd prefer it if all the females would start grooming themselves. Right, while we watch these lovely lionesses and one Birmingham sleep, I'm going to send you over to Jamie to see how that leopard is doing.
Leopards have turned invisible. I'm not quite sure how they've done it, but they have absolutely vanished. And I'm just trying to sit here quietly and just listen. They're the elephants that I said I could hear, that I didn't think were scaring Karula. So we know she hasn't gone that way, because I promise you, even a streaking leopard would attract the attention of a herd of elephants, and we would have heard protective and indignant trumpets from that general direction if she'd gone that way. So they've got one side covered. They've also got the north covered, although she didn't go north, she went south. And there's elephants all the way up on the top of that mound as well. So there's elephants everywhere. And I just wanted to sit and listen, because I have a feeling that Karula, being the experienced leopard that she is, I don't think she's going to have gone very far away. I think she's just like she did that first time, where she went under the tree and she stopped to listen, and then she moved away. I think she's going to wait here for a bit, and then I think there's a very good chance that she's going to start calling her cubs, just to make sure that they're safe and sound. But she will want to make sure that the... Sorry, I thought I heard something. That the cubs, but the baboons are well out of the way before she makes a noise. There's one more place I want to investigate. I'm going to just go forward a little bit. Just want to see whether she's not right here on the other side of the termite mound, because I have a suspicion that's where she's going to have gone. I don't think she's going to have gone too far away. I think she would have just, I hope I'm right, just moved around here. I didn't see her tracks crossing the road, but a running leopard can cover a 2-meter road from one side to the other in one stride without even touching the road. So that's not an indication that she didn't move further than I thought. Is that a cub or a termite mound? I think it's a termite mound. I can't see. It's Dave, can you zoom into the into the trees, into the bushes around the termite mound? That's a pile of elephant dung. That's not an elephant. That's not a leopard cub. Let's go a little bit to the right there. No. Just have a sneaking suspicion she won't have gone too far away. I could, of course, be entirely mistaken. Amazing to watch those. I will get back to the elephants, by the way. Amazing to watch those instincts of the cubs. And that, of course, is what's kept them alive. When mom has to leave you for days at a time, independence is fostered very young. I'm sure she's just in here. Obviously, with the elephants around and with Karula having just got a fright, I'm not going to pursue her too closely. I'm not going to try and follow her. If she's gone off further to the south, I want to just give her a moment to collect herself and then call to the cubs. It's just the wind howling now. Another good news. Karula and cubs are safe, and it looks as though we might have some rain. I should not have said it aloud. It's meant there's a little percentage of chance of rain tomorrow. The wind is howling, the clouds are gathering, and there is a rain feeling in the air. I'm almost too scared to hope. But the scorpions are out again. I saw the Arathusa scorpion tracks in our driveway. It's usually a good sign that the rain is on its way. They seem to get the weather better than we do. Leopards. Amazing. I must say, it's disappointing that they vanished, but at the same time it is absolutely amazing that they have the skill to vanish like that. And there's no way, even if we had raced off, that we would have caught up with them, or kept up with them. If they've kept running, there's no way. Okay, let's go look at the Ellies for a while. Give Karula a chance to collect her thoughts, call the cubs, and hopefully they'll pop out. Oops. See Daisy. Let's not put the VR rig in a thorn tree. Now while we do this, Robin, you were wondering if baboons have a good sense of smell and whether or not they could smell the leopards. Their sense of smell is okay, it's better than ours. It's not as good as something like a leopard. Their eyesight is, their brains are wired for different things. So their eyesight is quite good, their color vision is quite good, but their hearing is not as good. Their sense of smell is not as good. So there's a chance they could smell them if they went up close, but with this wind blowing the way it is, my suggestion would be no. I think our leopards are perfectly safe now, especially with Karula's level of alertness. She was sleeping, the next thing you know, she was gone. And what was fascinating about that was Shungile, I don't know if she was watching her mom's body language or if she heard the baboons herself, but either way, both of them were gone like a shot. I don't know where the second cub was. I didn't know at the time. I still have no idea. Now I have no idea where all 3 of my leopards have gone. Hopefully they decide to re-emerge. In the meantime, though, we've got our elephant herd to keep us distracted. If we don't have any luck catching up with Karula and her cubs, I have another surprise up my sleeve. We're going to be playing a game, and I don't know if it's going to work out, but it's the only way I have of doing it, so we're going to try something, but we'll stop with the Ellies for now. I'm sure if 3 leopards had come wandering past them, one of them would have let us know. And of course, elephants in this kind of weather are always a bit more on edge than they might otherwise be. Sure, I can't believe that just happened. I'm still in a slight state of disbelief. All changed so quickly, and if we had been here half an hour, 15 minutes later, we would have absolutely no idea that had happened. We wouldn't have had a clue. Elephants peacefully feeding, completely oblivious to the drama that just played out in front of us. And I'm sorry, I'm sort of watching the Ellies, and I'm also constantly looking behind me just to see whether or not those leopards are regrouping somewhere. The problem is I don't have leopard hearing. I don't think in this wind I'm going to hear her call. They will. I won't. I mean, elephants might even. They, of course, do have extraordinary sense of hearing and smell. They must have known the leopards were there. They must know at least there is a kill there. I don't know why, I'm sorry, I don't know why my voice is objecting to, the whole speaking thing. It is definitely struggling. And if the elephants hadn't let us know, then the little bird that is next to our vehicle that I've just spotted, rummaging through the elephant dung. I'm trying to see if this is fresh elephant dung that our Francolin has found himself in. Oh! This is a serious mission. Catching all the termites that have come to feed. There you go, saw one get, there you go, you can actually see them. Oh, got that one. He's siphoning them up. That's incredible. I just saw 2 go down. Obviously there's more there. Got that one. And birds have eyesight that is far better than ours. It's a faster frame rate per second, as well as the ability to see in ultraviolet light, and a fantastic ability to focus their eyes. And they've got incredible eyesight, but they manage to keep everything very much in focus. There's one. Oh, you missed it. Amazing. And here comes our Ellie. Oh no, not the apple leaf girl. Don't push over the whole apple leaf. It's a tree we don't often get to see. Oh, I'm glad she stopped there. There's not that many of them around. At least not that many big ones. I'm glad she didn't totally push it over. An apple leaf, despite their vibrant green color, does not have much in the way of nutrients. Oh, sorry, David. My mistake completely. I'm sorry. You wanted to know what that bird was that we were just looking at. I really should have said the name. It's a Crested Francolin. And my apologies for not telling you what it is. I was so distracted by watching elephants on one side and looking for leopards on the other, and then looking at the Francolin catch the termites, that I wasn't doing my job, which is actually to tell you what the different creatures are. So my apologies. And on the subject of apologies, we do know about our mic problems. Just to let you know, I'm sorry about the sound dipping and coming and going. We are working on it. We have absolutely no idea what's going on. Oh! Oh, there goes the apple leaf. Oh, finishing the job off. Ooh. Wind is howling. What was that for then? What part of the tree were you after, that it needed to be quite so solidly pushed over? She's standing on it now. Look, we have a tree climbing elephant. Sort of. Oh, she stopped. I've seen an elephant with 3 legs on a log. Still had 1 foot on the ground, admittedly, but it was 3 legs, all 3 legs, standing on a marula stump. It was admittedly trying to get higher than its opponent. It was having a little bit of a scrap with one of the other males. It was trying to use the tree as a height advantage. Very curious to see what she was after. Let's just go forward a little bit. And keep casting back over my shoulder to see whether or not the leopards have popped out. I can't see them. James Dungan, as I sneak closer to her, and I say sneak, like she's unaware of me. She's of course completely aware that I'm here. He wanted to know if the apple leaf is the type of tree that will recover, or is it dead forever. They do coppice, in other words, grow a couple of different stems out of a broken one. It just depends on how much destruction she has wrought. I can't actually get us a better view than this, but at least it's a little bit closer so we can have a look at what she's up to and what part of the tree she's after. Because the elephants have been going for the roots at the moment. That doesn't seem to be her aim, but I don't know why she pushed over the entire tree, broke apart the entire tree. James, it's already been broken before. And the reason I know that, look at that. Look what she's doing with her trunk. What are you looking for, girl? But look at that. She's trying to grab the bark. She's trying to grab the bark, but why didn't you use your tusks, girl? Because now you've pushed it over in the most counterproductive way possible. You've made your life more difficult. Oh, that's cool. After all that, she was after the bark. Oh, it looks like she was. She is. She's breaking off tiny squares of the bark in the most incredibly dexterous manner. Whoops. No, it's not so easy. You've pushed it down it completely the wrong way. Now she has to try and get under there to get the bark away. James, yes, this tree has been tackled before. Hey, look, she got it. If she completes the process of debarking it, then that will be the end of the apple leaf. That was incredible to watch. There are certain aspects that you get even more out of from these live safaris, in that in a sighting like this, when you're on a real safari, you don't sit with your binoculars all the time necessarily, and you miss out on the tiniest of details, just like this movement and the dexterity of her trunk. I've actually learned so much more from sitting watching my monitor, because I see what you're seeing, because it's important for me to look through the eyes of the camera, not just what I'm seeing. So I see what you're seeing on the little screen in front of me, and I've noticed so much more in the way of the little details, recognizing individual buffalo, for instance, or watching the way that an elephant's trunk really works in doing this job. Look how delicate that was. Admittedly, I don't think it was her intention to have to pick away tiny slithers of bark as she goes along. Oh well, time to move on to the crown then. And Cliffco is a new viewer. Lovely to have you on board. You wanted to know where her friends are. Oh, her friends have just arrived. Sorry, I'm so distracted by where these leopards went at the same time. Cliffco, there you go. You are right. Elephants live in groups. They live in herds. You do see solitary elephants at times, and those are the sexually mature males that have left the safety of the herd, and they go off and they wander around on their own. Sometimes they meet up with other males and they spend a little bit of time together. Sometimes they go and associate with the breeding herds, with other females, just for a little bit of company and the possibility of mating. But there you go. Her friends have arrived and they have decided that they are going to feed off the apple leaf. Now, in an elephant herd, their bonds are incredibly tight. So yes, you could absolutely describe them as friends. It's also, every elephant in one herd, almost all the time, is related to the rest of the herd. So it's made up of mothers, sisters, aunts, cousins, younger brothers, younger siblings. It's a collection, it's a huge family, and they stay together if they're female, for their entire lives. The bonds between elephants cannot be underestimated. Is that nice, girls? You decided now, okay, well, you weren't having much luck with the bark. It's time to move on to the leaves. You can see the female at the back is much, much larger than the female in the front. And yes, I know the female in the front is standing lower than the female at the back. She's standing on a slight decline, but she is still much smaller. You can see it in the size of their heads. The elephant continues to grow for its entire life. Look at the size of the head of the elephant on top compared to the one below. They're both adult females, but the one behind is much, much older than the one below. The one below that we've been watching the whole time is probably only, if I had to guess, in her late teens, maybe in her 20s. Don't think she might not even have had her first calf yet. Now, Tanya in Australia, very good point, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try and find you another apple leaf, because Tanya would like to know, is that apple leaf called an apple leaf because its leaves are similar to apple trees? The answer is no. Supposedly, the reason that the name apple leaf arose, they're also known as rain trees, and I'll explain that in a moment. But the reason why the name apple leaf arose is because supposedly when you take the leaves and crush them, it sounds like somebody biting into an apple. And the more I tell that story, the more ridiculous it sounds as a reason for naming a tree. I mean, how silly is that? If you take a leaf and crush it, it sounds like someone biting into an apple. I don't know why that's the case. It's known as the rain tree. due to the tendency of an insect called a spittlebug to settle upon the bark and to tap into the sap of the tree and to consume it in vast quantities, such vast quantities that it starts to excrete pure water at a very, very rapid rate. And what happens occasionally, there's a phenomenon where apple leaves get covered in these spittlebugs. And with all of the water that they're excreting, with the speed that they're processing the sap, they soak the ground beneath the tree like the tree is raining. It's a far nicer name, isn't it? Now that is why the apple leaf is also called a rain tree, or Phalaenoptera violacea, for those of you who are a bit more keen on the Latin names. I can't stand it, the burning curiosity to just go and double check where that kill was. I'm going to go and just have a look. And then I'm going to start our game, which I'll explain to you a bit later. But for now, let's head across to Tayla, find out what her sleepy lions are up to.
Jamie, oh, look at that big yawn. I just wanted to say, Jamie, I have no more sleeping lions. I'm so excited. Very, very happy. The patience is really paying off at the moment. I pushed through my urge to leave all these Kahuma lionesses, and now look at them. They're all grooming each other. They're all yawning. They're all waking up. Isn't this amazing? Look, they've got like a little train going on. You groom me, I groom you. I'm little and I've got a baby tongue, and my tongue is probably not doing very much, but I'm going to groom you anyway because I love you. I think that's what that little one is saying, and I think that's the voice it would have, obviously. Lick, 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 let me lick your eyes. And I love, watch this lioness now. I think if she licks any harder, she's going to push that little one over. Wouldn't that be funny? What? My tongue is much bigger than yours. Yes, I can't miss out on the fun either. Don't leave me out, Mum. You know, the little ones, they're always craving attention. Sorry, I've just got so excited that the lions have now started waking up, and it's so early in the drive already. It's cooled down nicely. I think we are getting a bit of a cold front coming through. So everybody, I hope you're doing your rain dance at home for us, because we need the rain. We desperately need it. Oh, isn't this lovely? What a perfect picture. Right, wake up, gang. Oh, that's beautiful. All getting cleaned. We've had so much luck recently. Oh, look at those big teeth. I'm going to now fight with you. Nora wants to know, does the word Nkahuma have a meaning? Nora, I have absolutely no idea. My Shangaan is not that good. I'm sure it does have a meaning of some sort. Maybe I'll have to ask one of the Shangaan rangers and they'll be able to let me know what it means. I'll get back to you this afternoon. Do any of the viewers know what it means? I'm sure maybe this question has been asked before over the last few years. I'll quickly go to, I think this is Amber Eyes that we've got you on the left of us, but look how she's enjoying her scratch so much. Look at her face. That's the spot. That's the spot. It's like when you rub your dog on a tummy and it does that face too. There we go. Are you enjoying that? I think this is Amber Eyes if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if she looks at us. Big yawn. Look at us, please. Right, still found that lovely spot. Lick, lick, lick the air. So she's also going to go over. Yes, it looks like Amber Eyes, everybody. Hello, lovely. She's a beautiful lioness. So she's going to get up now, and she's also going to go over to the rest of the lovely ladies of the Nkahumas, and they're going to do an amazing greeting ceremony if this young cub doesn't manage to ankle tap her over, but I doubt that. Yes, hello. Remember everybody, screenshots. Get your screenshots I'm going to use the toilet first. Well, that's... No, you're not even going to the restroom. You're just going to sit there. Okay, don't say hello to anybody else then. Which is, the little one is sneaking up now. So you don't going to bite my tail. Big yawn. Ooh. We're seeing lots and lots of teeth today. Right, girls, what is going to be your next move after you finish grooming? Oh, and we've got the Birmingham doing a big roll as well. Yes, hello, big boy. Ooh, hello. Big stretch. Are you going to go over to the ladies and get a hiding? Yes, please. Shame he doesn't seem to be liked by the females too much. Let's see what his next move is. You can see that these boys are still quite young and they haven't quite reached the prime of their life yet, so that mane is still going to come over the top towards his shoulders, and it will eventually join down to his elbows. You can see that there should be a little tuft of hair down on his elbow as well. You see that? And that darkening is usually an indication that they're around 5 years old. And I reckon by the time that they get to about 6, which I think is not, they're not too far off of 6, I think they're about 5.5 years old, that big mane should join over. But they're looking good. They're looking good. Hopefully their manes go nice and dark as well. But he's a funny looking lion. He's definitely got a few cuts on his face. Ah, good afternoon, James Richards, one of our loyal viewers. Thank you so much for informing me. So James has mentioned what Nkahuma means, and Nkahuma means a brown ivory tree, and apparently that's the same tree that this pride was discovered under, which obviously is fitting to name them that. So what a beautiful name that is. So thank you so much for that. I didn't know that. See, I love it. We learn something every single day. Right, I think it's time to up and go, ladies. I'm ready when you are. Are you ready to go and hunt something, or not just yet? Even if you could get on the move for us, that would be nice. Just not through too much thick vegetation. Oh, here comes Mr. Birmingham. He's just sort of on the outskirts of everyone. Not too sure if he should make his way to the middle of the pride. I'm going to sit on the outside and sulk. See that big cut on his nose? If you go in there, have a look there. I think that was definitely from a swat that he received from one of the females last night. He's a funny looking lion. He's got such a swollen face. He's not the prettiest lion I've ever seen. Oh, it's so great to see them all slowly but surely waking up. All the little wriggling littles. I love how white the fur is on their stomach. Oh, Mom didn't like that very much. So remember everybody, we are live at the moment. So I would love to hear from all of you. So if you have any questions, you can either hashtag Safari Live for Twitter, or you are welcome to also send us an email, questions@WildEarth.tv. It's just Jamie and I out this afternoon. Girl power for the last few drives. I think it's great. I think we make a fantastic team. We've been finding all the animals. No. I wanted you to stand up after that, not sit down again. Hopefully they didn't fool me. Yes, yes. Learn English. Now up you get. Thank you. You can see there. They're not hungry. I mean, they're not full. So they are definitely hungry. They don't have any big bellies. No. Just trying to get away from your little ones. So I definitely think this evening they are going to catch something. The clouds are rolling in slowly, which is good for them. It means that the moon is going to be covered, so they'll have a better chance at hunting something. When you do have a full moon, unfortunately, it is very difficult for the predators to hunt, because the prey that they are attempting to hunt can see just as well as they can. You see the flies are bothering that Birmingham male. Look how big his paws are. His monstrous paws. Hello, boy. Shame you've been given a bit of a hiding. Can you even see, it looks like he's got a tick above his left eye. Is that a tick? Or is it just a scar? I don't know. Maybe either or. Oh, big puncture marks on his face. So this big lion, if you have a look at him again, look at those paws. I don't know if you saw when he put his paw over his face, it almost covered his entire face. Now a male lion's track, so when it's on the ground, will be about almost the size of my hand. But I reckon that his paws in total, with all the hair and everything and the bits that we don't see, are slightly bigger than mine. Maybe the size of a small a teenage boy's hand, maybe slightly bigger than mine. I've got little hands, unfortunately. So my paws probably the same size as the female lions. Here we go. We're all greeting each other. Now you're doing all this yawning. I hope you don't go back to sleep, ladies. Yes, that's a good move. Are you going to clean yourself? I'm just amazed at the flexibility of these animals, and particularly the cats. Probably should let everybody know that I've got the lions. Let me do that very quickly. Shlamingonyam still static just east of Chelapan, Wanalok. It doesn't seem like too many guides are out yet this afternoon. Here we go, I've got a stick. I don't know why they always pick the thorn trees to play with. I mean, there's so many other sticks that have no thorns that would be much better to chew on. And this one has decided to nibble on, it looks like a buffalo thorn. Why would you want to chew that? Now you've got two. Well, I don't see why you would choose that branch. Here we go. We've got some more action. Everybody just saying hello, everybody. Right, let's go. I'm hungry. What's for dinner tonight? Yes, see, going to wake everybody up. Up you get. You always get that one friend that wants to sleep all the time. Oh no, well she's sitting down now too. I'm going to lay on top of you. Come on everybody. Hope everybody at home. There we go, look at that little one going straight for the jugular. I think your mouth is a bit too tiny, or I'm just going to lick inside your ear now. No, didn't like that either. Now, lions are the most social cats in the world. And that's what makes them so successful, is that they live in prides like this. Hello, yes, love me. So you can see how they've all been grooming each other for the last 20 minutes. And that's very important. That helps strengthen the bond between different members of the pride. And they're going to have to keep on doing that. Look at that little one, wants all the attention. So Shirley wants to know why the Birmingham, well, Shirley that the, sorry, let me try that again. Sorry, Shirley. So Shelley has said, doesn't the male want some grooming too? Now, unfortunately, this male has got very low tolerance, and especially for the cubs. So the cubs often want to go up to him and nuzzle up against him and play with his tail and lick him. And he sort of says, we actually saw it this morning, where he'll tolerate it for about 10 seconds, and then he growls and chases them off, and then he gets in trouble from the females for being ugly to the little ones. And I don't think the female lions particularly care for this male, because every time he comes in, they sort of growl at him and he has to sit on the outside. So yes, I'm sure he would absolutely love to be groomed, but you've got to be kind then to everybody else. And he, like I said, he's got a very low tolerance, so they sort of leave him alone, and he just sits there. He knows his place. Come on, next move. Up here, there we go. How beautiful is he? He's quite big. He's getting there. Oh, wow, look at that. Hopefully some of you managed to get a screenshot of him shaking his mane like that. Wasn't that beautiful? Are you just stealing the show now? You want to be ahead of everybody? Well, no, there's something biting you here, Shame. Something. Look, see all the little ones trying to follow after him. Now watch this, everybody. This will be quite hysterical. Hopefully these little ones, once they finish playing with each other, are going to edge on closer to this male, and then surely, hopefully you'll be able to see exactly what I mean when I say that this male has got a very low tolerance for these cubs. Shame. Something is biting. You can see him swatting his tail every now and then. So whether it's little, I can see lots and lots of flies around his front paws. Can you see that? See them all flying around there. And they're after all the moisture. Maybe he's got a little bit of a wound on the inside of his foot. I'm not sure. And that's normally they like to hang around their eyes and the nose where there is a bit of moisture. But I seem to see there seems to be lots hanging around on his paw. He's very uncomfortable. Okay, here we go. We've got one of the little ones making a move. Come on, chase Dad's tail. Dad, swish your tail around a little bit more, because that is definitely going to entice the little ones to come over. Oh, you'd think that would hurt. Oh, Anna, ow, hey. That's very cheeky. Oh, did you see? I love that one on the left. I don't know if you saw that little one's eyes are quite droopy if you have a look at its eyelids. Look at that. I just noticed that now. No, now look towards us. No, he's going. Now that one is going away. Looks like the flies have been biting their ears. You see that? Especially the tops of their ears. Wow. Pow, pow, take that. It's hard to think that this behavior one day will lead to them bringing down big animals like buffalo. They're playing so gently. It's going to be so exciting, and I hope that all these young cubs make it to adulthood, or not even adulthood. If they can, the most exciting thing, and I think I've mentioned this before, is when these lions get to about 1.5 years, and then they're going to start going out on the hunts and observing. And with so many of them, I think it's going to be absolute chaos. But it will be hysterical for us watching, not so much fun for the adults, because they're going to ruin a lot of hunts, I suspect, being very inexperienced. Come, little ones. Why didn't you go and climb the tree? Come and jump on Dad so we get a bit of action. But at least these little ones have woken up for us. Beautiful. There we go. Give me some more attention, please. Beautiful. Now the wind is picking up again. I thought it was going to down a little bit earlier. Oh, there we go. Got another stick to chew on. And that probably feels quite nice for the lion cubs. It's like teething. So to chew on a stick rather than to chew on mom's tail. I'm sure she appreciates it. Look at that, one's upside down. That's a better stick to play with. Much better stick. Hello, Sonia. Sonia, I've never heard a lion purr before, but I can tell you what cat does purr. Cheetahs. Cheetahs purr really, really, really loudly. Lions tend to just growl and they roar, but I've never heard them purring before. And of course the little ones are always complaining. They're making that meow, meow noise, looking for milk. See how that female now is looking up into the sky. I don't know if you managed to see that. And that's what lions will often do, is they look up to the skies to see if they can see any birds of prey flying around. Often vultures are, if they are dive bombing to an area, lions will use that. And lions are big scavengers too, so they're obviously mainly hunting, but if they can find something like a buffalo that's maybe died due to the drought, or maybe there's just one lion that's killed a buffalo, these lionesses and this male would definitely run on over to all those birds, all the vultures, and try and find out what's going on. I've seen it before where I've had sleeping lions. One female looked up into the sky and all these vultures were dive bombing down to the ground, probably about 1 kilometer away. Well, without hesitation, they jumped up, all of them, and they ran towards this area where the vultures were, and it was amazing. It was some hyenas that had killed a kudu. The lions happily chased the hyenas away and they got a free meal. The hyenas had eaten most of it though, but the lions got a little bit in their bellies. And they were as fat as anything too. They'd also just come from finishing a buffalo kill. So they'll never say no to food. Beautiful. Laura, good afternoon to you. That's a very intelligent question. So Laura wants to know if a botfly could have possibly laid an egg in his face. And when you say in his face, I presume you think that wound. And is that maybe not what's causing the swelling? Now, Laura, I don't think a botfly has laid its egg in its face. I think it's just the flies hanging around and causing some irritation. I was chatting about this to Jamie, and she said there is one Birmingham boy who looks quite daft and face is quite swollen most of the time. So I think maybe with that wound as well being on a sensitive spot, there is a slight bit of swelling that you can see. But apparently with him, it's quite normal. So botflies particularly like wildebeest as well as certain species of antelope, and now I can really talk from the Eastern Cape where we used to have antelope called blesbok, and they were horribly parasitized by the botflies. So I don't think lions have too much of a problem with botflies. I think they like to lay their eggs on the legs of antelope and things like that, but I've never seen or really heard of botflies going after the lions. I suppose there's always a possibility, there's always a chance, but I don't think they would lay their eggs directly in the wound. They prefer to lay their eggs on the legs, and then what will happen is often when an antelope species will rub their faces on their legs, those eggs then go up into the nasal cavity. Now the nasal cavity is a great place, and it's good, it's got great hatching conditions. It's nice and moist, it's really warm. So the larvae, that's when you get the blesbok or the wildebeest bobbing their heads all the time, and then they'll occasionally snort as well, and that will hopefully just expel the larvae out back onto the grass, and then the whole cycle starts again. So really the botflies are just hatching, the eggs are just hatching in the nasal cavity, and then they are popping out as a larvae, and then they carry on. Let's see, little one, are you going to go up the tree? Please go up the tree for us. Sorry, I want to have a, let's see if you're going to do. No, there's two little ones that are hanging around the base of this tree over here, of this bush willow, and you can see that little one looking through over there, and I was hoping it was going to stretch up and sort of scratch the tree. Yes? Yes. That's beautiful. Poking through. Forward, there's a very spiky plant there. I'm going to rest my head now in between this tree. Right, well, I think I might hang around with these lions just for a little bit longer, just to see what they get up to. But I believe Jamie has finally reached Cheetah Plains. Let's see if she's found anything interesting.
As the wind gusts across Cheetah Plains, I'll explain the reason why I'm here and why we are playing an interesting game. Cindil is on Cheetah Plains somewhere, but we don't know exactly where. We don't know exactly the road, we don't know exactly the GPS coordinates, and we don't actually know exactly when either. However, we have been given a set of instructions that I'm going to try and combine with tracking and double checking for tracks and listening for the sounds of the bush, and hopefully it will mean we have a leopard sighting. So, Lou, I think I've just hit the dog's leg, and then 150 meters after that there is a junction and I have to bear. Three-way crossing, that'll be it. That's this. Keep left. Yes! I think we're on the right track. So, roughly 150 meters along this road. Everybody keep a close eye. I'm hoping I've got the right dog's leg as well, because there was a whole set of instructions before that I have to confess I'm not 100% sure that I got right. It's a bit tricky. So we've come to dog's leg number 1, and I'm desperately looking for leopard tracks. I've just bumped into Andrew from Cheetah Plains, and he said that he heard monkeys' alarm calling around the lodge, and that he went for a walk and that there wasn't much there. But Cindil is not very good on foot. He's quite skittish on foot. He's terrified of people. So it could have been that he was in this area and that there's his... Oh, those have been driven over. Those are hyena. So, Cindil, where are you, mister? You see what I mean about playing a game? Playing a puzzle. Is that a hyena track? Yes, it is. So, 150 meters would be... If I'm on the right dog's leg, I would be somewhere here. Oh goodness, it's been so windy today, and there's been vehicle traffic here. I'm really just hoping he's going to be on the road. No. This is a fun game. This is a tricky fun game. Especially because we're not 100% sure exactly when he was on this road. It was sometime today, but on a cool day like today, even the lions are thinking about getting up. The leopards will definitely be out and about. Have we just missed something? He was on Nkoro not too long ago. He's moving southish, and Cindil, of course, normal dispersal patterns for a young male leopard is all over the show. He's up, down, round and round, backwards and forwards, exploring and searching for a new and safe place. And eventually, once he gets a little bit larger and a little bit stronger, he will be able to establish a territory of his own. For new viewers who have absolutely no idea what I am talking about, just fair enough, and we do get new viewers each and every single drive that we do. Cindil is a young male leopard. He was unfortunate enough to catch a dog that had made its way in from one of the villages, a stray dog, a feral dog, and he caught it while he was just over a year old. He was then transported into a rehabilitation facility and given several vaccinations because unfortunately it turned out that the dog was rabid. And he was released around May, so 8 months later, with a large tracking collar around his neck and a brand bright new future. And he's been doing exceptionally well for himself for a leopard that was barely more than a cub. In fact, he was still a cub, basically. He was released back into the wild. He's managed to hunt for himself. He's managed to fend for himself. The story is quite phenomenal. I wonder if I didn't get the wrong dog's leg. I don't see one leopard track here. The light is bad. And if he had been here, Harry would have told us because he would have been the next junction. Let's try the next dog leg then. The next dog leg would be... Well, let's try this dog leg. And just in case you're wondering what a dog leg is, that's the description I've been given. It's when a road dog legs. It suddenly changes direction and goes at an almost 90-degree course to the one that it was taking. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying dog leg. Come on, Cindil. I don't know if I imagined it. No, I must have imagined it. I thought I felt a drop of rain, but that must be my imagination. The reason I'm peering out of the side of the car like that is because I'm not tall enough to see over the bonnet properly. And because there's a whole load of hyena tracks on this road, and at first glance, if you don't double check, you run the risk of driving past leopard tracks because you dismiss them as hyena tracks. These are all hyena tracks though. Definitely just hyena tracks. Zebra scuffed its toe. My brain is working into rapid overtime here to try and figure this puzzle out. Ah! Sorry to everyone who is now bombarded with sounds of the wind. I've been trying to hide my microphone in my cap. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. I thought it was a good catch too. Oh dear. How's that?
Better.
Better. Ah, it's starting to become the bane of my existence. Would you just stay on my head, please? Dave, it's probably frowned upon if I smash it, isn't it?
Yes.
It is, okay. Fair enough. It was worth a shot. This is a four-way crossing. Everybody look for Cindil. All the other animals of Cheetah Plains are hiding away. Okay, let's try. Touch and go. I'm looking at my map, by the way. Not reading my messages. I'm trying to look at my map of Cheetah Plains to figure this one out. But while I problem solve away and try and figure this out, let's head back across to Tayla and see if her lions have decided to get up yet.
So everybody, the lions haven't been doing too much, except that the female lions have sort of perched themselves up. You can have a look, and they're glancing over in the distance. So we're right up on a drainage line. Now I did hear some elephants rumbling earlier, but that sounded to be a little bit further south from where we are. I wonder if they haven't seen something like maybe a kudu, maybe a buffalo in the distance. I'm not just sure just yet. So we're just patiently waiting to see what their next move is. And I've also been trying to plot my way down if they do decide to go down into this drainage. So it could get quite exciting. That's what I'm really hoping for. I always try and be as optimistic as possible when I'm around the lions. Like I say, positive vibes to all the animals, especially to the ones that like to catch other animals. Give them all the positive vibes that they can get. You see her, and she actually just keep moving their head slightly. They're intrigued by something. But for now, I am unsure what they have spotted. I'm just trying to have a good look. It's quite thick as well, and their eyesight is much better than mine. I've also got quite a few trees in the way. They're sitting on the other side of the trees now. It's not all the females, it's just 3 that have repositioned, and then 1 is still fast asleep, and then the other female is sort of glancing over in that direction as well, but not showing as much interest as the 3 perched on the bank. And of course the cubs, they don't know what's going on. They're just playing with their sticks and biting each other. And there we go, that one's, they're doing some very poor attempts of scratching their nails on the tree as well. They sort of latch onto it and then fall back over. Hello, Ellen from Arkansas. Ellen wants to know, with the increase in lion numbers and other predator numbers, would that mean that some of the other animals are going to move out of the area? Yes, they will, especially for things like leopards, especially if it's the lion numbers that are increasing. Obviously, these lions are going to have to start moving a little bit more in search of food, and this may actually push leopards out and encourage them. When the lions would go to the northern section of the reserve, we wouldn't see any leopards. We'd see more hyenas though, but we wouldn't see any leopards. And obviously the buffalo, if they get wind that there are lots of prides of lions around, they're also going to try and avoid those areas too, and could possibly move away as well. See now, another female who is sleeping has got up to go and have a look as to what's going on. Just want to very quickly update our sighting for us. Shlamingonyam still static. We're just east of Chelapan. There's one on lock and Andrew's on approach. I'm trying to multitask and do more than one thing at a time, which is proving interesting. Hello, yes. Oh, you've going to wedge yourself in there, I'm afraid. That's a beautiful photo. Yes, I think you have. You wedged yourself? Almost. You got lucky that time. Right, you're not going to do that again, are you? Lovely ladies. I can hear Andrew's on his way into the sighting. Come on, girls, or hopefully whatever they are watching reveals itself. See, they're all looking over there now. Look at those lovely black patches as well on the back of the lioness's ears. Oh, the cubs got excited. So those are really important. Those are little follow me signs, so that when they are hunting and moving through long grass or thick areas, they can communicate and see each other without having to make too much noise. They've also got that black tip on the tail, which I'm sure you're all well familiar with. So for those of you that have just tuned into the show, we are sitting with the Nkahuma Pride, which is the resident pride of lions here on Djuma Private Game Reserve, and we are sitting on 8.5 million acres of pristine wilderness in South Africa, and it's called the Greater Kruger area. We are currently in the Sabi Sands though, which is a private wilderness area, and we are live. So if you'd like to contact us and send us any questions or comments, you can do so either by using the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can email us if you don't have Twitter. You can email questions@wildearth.tv. See how that black patch on the back of their ears really stands out as Eggsy is panning through the lines. It's sort of the first thing that you see. Tumbuti trees, lots of tumbutis around. You typically see them growing along drainage lines. Susan wants to know, and it's a question that I've been asked many times, and she wants to know, do we think that the prey species will start to associate the vehicles with predators? And I don't think so, because we stop at all different types of animals. We stop and we watch impala, we stop and we watch zebra, we stop and we even watch the birds and reptiles if they are around as well. So no, I don't think so. Not just yet. We'll get clever enough, but for the moment it's quite spread out. We stop equally at the zebras and the elephants to the amount of times that we spend with the leopards and the lions as well. Come on, girls, make your next move. So Jamie has got a beautiful waterbuck for you. While we wait and see what happens next with these lions, why don't you head on over and have a look at the waterbuck?
I have found, not Cindil, but two fluffy antelope. A pair of female waterbuck wandering away from us with their rumps highlighted in white. And there's nothing quite like the circle around a waterbuck's tail. It's one of the most bizarre looking things in nature. They're so perfectly formed. I have to say, I've started looking at waterbuck in a new light after a recent story of a waterbuck with rabies. This is something I only just heard about recently. A waterbuck with rabies trying to bash through a screen door to attack someone. And I have to say, it was a really scary story. Rabies is not a disease to be trifled with. It wasn't here, just by the way. It was closer towards Hoedspruit. Luckily, the rabies outbreak recently seems to have died down. And it just goes to show all kinds of antelope can be affected. And a waterbuck is a big antelope. They're one of the biggest that we can see, that we will see out here. Yes, we might see sable. We could even see eland. It's very unlikely. A female waterbuck is a good couple of 100 kilograms. It's a very powerful creature. I'm sort of hoping Cindil is going to pop out. Nope. Waterbuck's just going to relieve herself. We'll catch up with them. Hey girls. Hey, moving into some very dense vegetation. There are parts, obviously we've got the massive open areas of Cheetah Plains, which I'm avoiding for now, just because of this incredible gusting wind. And if I couldn't keep my hat on back there, I certainly am not going to manage to keep it on the plains. And the microphone's going to go running, tumbling off, and it's all going to be disastrous. And we're going to stay away from the plains, but there are some parts of Cheetah Plains that are very, very dense in terms of vegetation. They are beautiful antelope with their white outlines. Something Dave's just pointed out to me, and I've never thought of before, and I was going to mention it earlier, but then I decided not to. The females have, actually waterbuck in general, have the most ridiculous tails. They're such short tails when you think of, not short so much as skinny. When you think about the fluffy tails of the Inyala and the Kudu, the waterbucks seem to have been slightly short-changed when it comes to tail. Kind of like elephants. The longer you look at an elephant's tail, the weirder it looks. These guys definitely got short-changed. That one's got a little white. Look at that. If you look at the tail, I've never noticed that before. She's actually, the circle is completed. Well, now you can't see it at all. That's terribly inconvenient. She's actually got a white patch of fur, exactly where the ring... Look at that. It's almost like the circle goes full circle. I've never ever noticed that before. See what I mean about the camera zoom and the details that you spot? I don't think I've ever... Did you ever notice that, Dave? Is it just that Waterbuck? Let's have a look at the one on the left. Yep, let's check the other one. Nope, she's got a 2. It's not quite right. Like somebody drew a circle and then went a little bit skew. Ha! I learned something today. So Waterbuck doesn't have an incomplete circle, it's almost got a complete circle if you factor in the white patch around their tail. Strange the things you notice. Giving us that wide-eyed antelope look. Sorry, girl, we've been closely examining your tail. I hope you don't mind. I thought she was about to eat that baboon. She is. Oh no, she's eating the green leaves that were growing off the baboon's tail. I thought she was going to put the whole thing in her mouth there for a second. Huh. Oh, I hope so. And Penny and Bobby in Durban, it's so lovely to hear from you. And apparently you've had torrential rain in Durban. Well, please send it our way. That would be very, very nice. And you're saying hopefully it doesn't stay long enough to stop you from getting to the park next week. Well, I hope you do make it to the park, and I'm sure you're going to have a marvelous time. Let us know where you're going and what you're planning on doing and how long you're going for. That's very exciting. And Kruger always has a mystery to it. I assume we're talking about Kruger. Always has a fantastic, I don't know, sense of adventure and mystery. You know, it's getting darker and darker. Now, this is going to seem ridiculous to new viewers that we keep commenting on the sky and the clouds and the fact that it might rain, but we really are desperate. I mean, you've just been watching the Waterbuck and you've seen how little food there is for them to eat. We really, really do need it. The poor things are eating the baboon's tails. And the poor baboon's tails, that should be awash with fresh, new green leaves, are not. That's a first for me. I've never seen Waterbuck do that before. Yeah, I think you got it all. Big girl. It's all gone. Shame. And in the next few months we should, in theory, be seeing bright purple flowers issuing forth from the of the baboon's tail. Bethany, Dave picked the 18th, which coincidentally happens to be his birthday, which is not tomorrow, is it, Dave? Unless I'm very...
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yes.
Isn't tomorrow Sunday?
Correct.
So tomorrow's your birthday?
Yes.
Is today the 17th? Is it September? Okay. I got it mixed up this morning. I thought it was October. I thought your birthday was on Monday.
Nope.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Bethany. You saved me from the deep embarrassment of forgetting Dave's birthday. Not forgetting, getting the day wrong. Which would have been tragic, and Dave might not speak to me, and then it would be a very awkward sunset and sunrise safari as we drove along with me wondering what I'd done wrong. Dave, of course, would have been deeply, deeply offended. Oh, yes. So, yes, he did predict rain tomorrow. Dave, you'll earn the... you know, we don't have a prize for this rain bet.
Oh, that's okay.
Bragging rights. Okay, Dave says bragging rights. We'll call Dave the Weatherman. Dazzling Weatherman Dave. I'm trying to think of a meteorological reference that begins with a D, but I can't. No. Downfall Dave.
There we go.
Downpour Dave. There we go. Downpour Dave. Right, moving on. Just too funny for my own good. Moving on to Cindil very rapidly. I've decided I had the wrong road. Unless the hyenas unless people drove over his tracks and the hyenas came stomping along and obscured them, I can't find any evidence of a leopard having come that way. So what we've done, we've come through to Djuma Dam, just because I'm trying to do a big circle, and I'm going to check out one more dog's leg on my map. The dog's leg obviously being the curve, and that's the one that goes past the bush dinner site, just up here. Now, there is a chance that he's still there, and that nobody found him, because nobody really checks that road, except for me when I get lost down it. But that's been a while. When I first started working here, I kept ending up at this dead-end road and not understanding why I couldn't, where I was. And I never got it right, but I've got it now, and I'm wondering if perhaps he's not somewhere there. It would be interesting if they decided to set up a bush dinner and discovered Cindil draped across it in the same way. Was it Quarantine or Konuma that draped himself across the bush dinner site on Djuma? It was Quarantine. Of course it was. Quarantine and his amazing ability to strike the perfect picturesque pose. Quarantine is Cindil's, what would he be? Uncle. Quarantine is Shadow's sister. Yeah, brother. Close enough. And Quarantine, yes, would be Cindil's uncle.